What's good? It's your boy Jay, that's me. Let's get into Monday Night Raw from December the 9th, 2024. A really good show for the most part. We got some more story involving CM Punk and Seth Rollins. That was great. And we got more of the New Day story progressing. That was good too. So, two good things there for the most part. So we kicked the show off with the New Day. They showed up at the arena, and Kofi wanted to dap up the Alpha Academy, but they all turned him down. So that was good. I enjoyed that. That happened before the show was on the air. It was the pre-show arrivals. So this leads us into Gunther coming out. So he says that he's been champion for 128 days, that being the World Heavyweight Champion. So, Gunther then puts over Finn Balor. He said that he respected him. He used to. He says, now Finn Balor has his undivided attention. He said that Saturday night's main event is not going to end up like how things did at Survivor Series. So Finn Balor comes out along with the rest of Judgment Day. Finn Balor says that Gunther could have given him the title match he deserves, but instead he chose to mess with him and give it to someone who doesn't deserve it, like Dirty Dom. So Finn Balor says the only reason Gunther is champion right now is because of him. He says Saturday night's main event is going to be nothing like Survivor Series. He says Gunther retained the title at Survivor Series because of Finn Balor. He said after 8 long years, Finn Balor will walk out at Saturday night's main event as the new World Heavyweight Champion. So Gunther then puts over Finn Balor. He mentions, 8 years ago. He says he knows that Finn Balor is frustrated. He said that he used to have respect for Finn Balor, but then that respect faded. And it wasn't by Gunther's choice. It was because Finn Balor had to cut corners and took shortcuts. And he aligned himself with the Judgment Day, hanging out with weirdos in a clubhouse. So then Gunther said that Finn Balor chose to play second fiddle to Damian Priest. So then they get into a little brawl after all this, back and forth. So Damian Priest comes out as well, and the Judgment Day, they all lay waste to both Damian Priest and Gunther, which sets up the triple threat match that's going to take place at Saturday night's main event. So this was pretty okay here. I actually quite enjoyed this. Does Gunther need to retain? Yes, he does. I think he will retain. I know rumor has it, and what's going on in the rumor mill basically is that in 2025, 2025, Finn Balor is going to receive a push of some sort. So we don't know what that's going to be. Could that entail championship implications? Maybe. He might, go back babyface. We don't know. I would assume it's going to be both. I would assume he's probably going to go be a babyface again and probably be by himself. He'll probably get beat down maybe on the Raw debut of Netflix in January, on January 6th. I think that's where they're going to go with it. And they'll probably end up sending Finn Balor to SmackDown to where he can either be a babyface or a heel and continue his ascent to the world title. I don't know. But this was okay, I guess. But we all knew this was coming anyway. We all knew it was going to be a triple threat match. So, which I'm fine with because that would have made perfect sense. I know people are saying, well, you should have gave away Finn Balor and Gunther on Raw. It's like, no, don't really do that. If you're going, because you already know that Damian Priest is going to get involved anyway. So why not kill two birds with one stone? So I'm still looking for Gunther to retain. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah. Moving on. So, Adam Pearce is backstage, and he tells Finn Balor it's going to be a triple threat match, basically. And then he said that next week that Finn Balor and JD McDonough, they're going to defend the World Tag Team Championships against the War Raiders next week. Okay, that's fine, I guess. So I guess we're going to start Finn Balor, being kicked out of the Judgment Day. And that should happen, I would say, in January, or, so about January, sometime in January, Finn Balor should be excommunicated with from the Judgment Day. And I would assume that's when Dominic Mysterio is going to be the one to take over Judgment Day, which is fine. Do I care about Judgment Day? No. Fuck Judgment Day. I don't care about them as a stable. I stopped caring about them months ago. But this is fine, I guess. Moving on. So, Liv Morgan, she wanted to know if Finn Balor had any advice for her. He says, no, not at the moment. He just needs a couple minutes to, process everything. Okay, that's fine. First match of the night, the Final Testament. They defeat the Wyatt Six. So, Karrion Kross, Akam Razor, and The Miz, they defeat the Wyatt Six. Bo Dallas, a.k.a. Uncle Howdy, Eric Rowan, Joe Gacy, and Dexter Lumis. So, basically, Paul Ellering, who's been out for about a month and a half, 2 months, he showed up here, and he used baby powder to distract Bo Dallas, a.k.a. Uncle Howdy, and he ate the F5 for the 1-2-3. This makes perfect sense. I'm down for this. I'm pretty sure that Uncle Howdy will get his win back, more than likely. So that should happen sometime soon. I don't know. They're not a pay-per-view act, that being the Wyatt Six. They should be a pay-per-view act, and they barely wrestle. They're really on the show about once a month, so we won't see them for a couple weeks. But I would assume that Uncle Howdy's going to get his win back against Karrion Kross. Probably it'll happen on the Raw debut of Netflix, more than likely. I'm willing to bet money on that shit too. I just wish that the Wyatt Six could be a pay-per-view act, but they're not. They're just there to pop a rating on television, which is fine, so it is what it is. Moving on, we got a really good segment involving CM Punk. He talked to Jackie Redmond and had a really good sit-down interview. She wanted to know about the favor that Paul Heyman owes him. CM Punk says it's a personal thing. Punk goes back years of Heyman. It's personal. Punk said last week he didn't think of Seth Rollins at all. Punk says he won't shy away from a fight. If you come at him, he'll swing. Seth Rollins' hatred of him confuses him. Punk doesn't hate Seth Rollins. You have to talk about their history. A 16-year-old Seth Rollins coming up to CM Punk and asking him to train him for free, mind you. That entitlement carried over into the adult Seth Rollins, who wants to be the best in the world. CM Punk remembers a time when Seth Rollins was on the top 10 list of people who were going to be fired from WWE. Punk shielded him from that. I love that dig right there. That was great. If he were in Rollins' place, CM Punk would hate him too. In Punk's absence, Seth Rollins did a good job filling in. Now the starter is back. Rollins has to return to the bench. I love that. That was great. Excellent stuff there. Excellent stuff. I like that. That's that young boy stuff. Nice. This is great. This is tremendous. This is tremendous. This is more so like the master meets the apprentice, basically, pretty much. That's what it seems like. We all know the CM Punk Seth Rollins history from years ago. When Punk was in Ring of Honor, he basically was a top guy, but he was also working in the office at the same time. So he's able to do, to play a dual role, kind of like he did in AEW when he was there. And I loved, that line that he, mentioned, saying that the starter's back. That was great. This is great. I've looked online, and there's a rumor going around that they're trying to do CM Punk and Seth Rollins for the Raw on Netflix. That's probably not going to happen at all. I would imagine they're going to do like a massive angle, which that's going to catapult their feud to WrestleMania 41, which is where they need to lock hands, But Seth Rollins has always been a better wrestler than CM Punk, and CM Punk has always been more charismatic than Seth Rollins. So they kind of even each other out in different ways, but this was great. Excellent stuff here. Moving on. So, Dakota Kai versus Liv Morgan. So, Liv Morgan defeats Dakota Kai. And then post-match, Io Sky showed up. And she beat up Liv Morgan. Who cares? I don't really care about any of this. They're going to face each other at Saturday night's main event. So, we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. Should be good. Next, we got a Drew McIntyre video. So Drew McIntyre says in Hell in a Cell was the most violent match of his career. He succumbed to blood loss. McIntyre could have been on Raw after Bad Blood, but he had to go back to Scotland. His family needed him. 2024 should have been his year, but he got screwed time and time again. While he was in Scotland, he wondered if people were right. Then he turned on Survivor Series and saw Roman Reigns standing side by side with CM Punk along with Sami Zayn and the Usos. They all went back for nothing. At least Punk took a bribe. That's when he knew he had to come back and take out Sami and Jay. Drew McIntyre can't change the past, but he can and will change the present and the future. Great stuff. Love this. I'm down for this. Excellent shit here. And this all sets up the big match, Sami and Drew at Saturday night's main event. That should be fun as well. I'm pretty sure that Drew's probably going to go over on that end. He just came back, so why wouldn't he go over? So, and then once Drew is done with Sami Zayn, they need to figure out a way to get him on to SmackDown. I think it's time for Drew to leave Raw and go to SmackDown. That would be great. I would love to see Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes. I think that would be great. You could do something like that either at the Royal Rumble or even at the Elimination Chamber. One of the two. So, I'm hoping for that. Hopefully that does happen. Moving on. So, we get a video package about what happened to New Day last week. So this leads us into Cody Rhodes. He shows up, and he came out of General Manager, Adam Pearce's office. So Kofi Kingston and Gary Woods, they greet him, but Cody Rhodes says they should be ashamed of themselves, and then they walk off. So that was funny. So I do like this. This is great. Moving on, this leads us into Seth Rollins. So he basically explains why he despises CM Punk. He says that the interview earlier on in the night was a masterclass in spinning the truth. You take a little truth and spin it. You make yourself the victim. Punk's been doing that since his entire career, his entire life. CM Punk is a fraud and a con man. If you want the truth about CM Punk, he'll give it to him. Rollins asked Punk to trade him. At one time, CM Punk was the best in the world. Punk helped Rollins get his foot in WWE. Seth Rollins respected Punk. They were friends at that time. if the story ended there, you might wonder why Seth Rollins hates CM Punk so much. That part of the story Punk left out will tell you why. When CM Punk walked out of the doors of this company, he called and texted him as a friend. Rollins heard back nothing from CM Punk. He ghosted him, just like CM Punk ghosted Chris Jericho. That's why they never worked out in AEW when Punk was there. Seth Rollins says it wasn't just him. It was everyone who was friends with him and worked for the company. You didn't quit your dream job and your priorities didn't line up with CM Punk. You're evil. That's not the end of the story. The next 10 years, all Punk tried to do was tear this company down. Punk took all the pot shots he could. Punk only came back because he failed and burned down every bridge that could bring him to water. Also, the money was right. I love that. That's a dig to AEW. I love that shit. That was great. So, basically, Rollins ends the promo by saying that CM Punk is a fraud. Rollins wanted to be better than CM Punk. Rollins was. Everything CM Punk did in the ring, Seth Rollins did twice. And Seth Rollins also main evented WrestleMania, unlike CM Punk. So Sami Zayn comes out and interrupts. He apologizes that he accused Seth Rollins of attacking Jey Uso and taking him out last week. And so Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn, they make amends. And then Sami Zayn proceeds to challenge Drew McIntyre to a match at Saturday Night's Main Event. And it was already made official by Adam Pearce. So Sami talked to him earlier on in the back. So good stuff there. I like this. This is a long promo, but good nonetheless. Moving on, Lyra Valkyria wins the... she qualifies. She wins her triple threat match. It was her, Zelina Vega, and Ivy Nile. Which none of these three women are over. They're all mid-carders. I'm a fan of Lyra Valkyria. She's okay, but she's no longer over at all. When she first came to Monday Night Raw, people love doing the woo, woo. They love doing that. They don't do that anymore. It's done every so often that you'll hear it from the crowd. Zelina Vega used to be over when they were doing stuff with the LWO, and she went to Puerto Rico in 2023 last year, and poor Ivy Nile, she's never really been over. She's never really been given the time of day, and this goes back to even when she was in NXT, but no one really cares about these tournaments and stuff. These tournaments are essentially whack because no one cares about this stuff. And you don't even make an attempt to create small video packages and having the women, talk about real briefly like why they want to win and what this championship means to them and all that. That's what I would do if I was booking the show, but Triple H doesn't seem to give a fuck about that at all. Because, it's my tournament, bro. I just care about tournaments and all that shit. So, it is what it is, but I don't care about this tournament. And I really don't care who wins, because none of these women in the match, in these triple threat matches are over. All these women are like low, mid-card women. That's just what it is. Like, if you're not Bianca Belair and, Bayley, Naomi, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, if you're not of that ilk, you're just on low on the totem pole, basically, essentially. So, it is what it is, I guess. I don't really give a shit about this. Moving on. So, there was a backstage segment involving Rhea Ripley. She was getting ready for her match, and then Damian Priest walks in and just says "Eradicate," and that was it. Moving on. So, Kathy Kelly tried to get a backstage interview with The New Day. So, she wanted to know why did they publicly berate their friend Big E. Kofi Kingston says she's supposed to be a neutral party, and Xavier Woods says this isn't going to be unbiased, so they'll speak to the people. And then they steal Stu's camera. the cameraman, and they walk around ringside, and they attempt to explain why they did what they did last week, and they were drowned out by the crowd. So they got the They got the Dominic Mysterio treatment, which is great, and I do like that. It's a really good shit there. Excellent stuff there. Really good stuff. So they just were drowned out by booze, and then they just walked out. It was like a good 2-3 minute segment, so I thoroughly enjoyed that. Maybe we'll eventually get the reason as to why. Probably during the Raw debut on Netflix. That's probably when they'll be able to reveal why they did what they did. So there's that. Main event of the evening: Rhea Ripley defeats Raquel Rodriguez in an anything goes match. Who cares? Rhea put Raquel through the table via the Eradicator and pinned her 1, 2, 3. And Io Sky, she came down, and I think she got involved in the match. Well, I wasn't paying attention, and then the two of them have a little tug of war over the belt, and that was it. Who really cares? I don't really care about any of this garbage. I just don't. We all know that Liv Morgan's going to retain on Saturday. I mean, come on. But Raw was solid, you know. The angle between Seth Rollins and CM Punk, that storyline continues to blossom. So that was great. The New Day stuff was tremendous as well. And everything else on the show was okay. But what did you guys think? Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.